Hi guys, welcome back to Kpop Talks. I'm your host. Today we're doing the worst Kpop albums of November 2023. And, we have a bunch of albums to talk about. I thought overall was a pretty good month. A lot of albums that I've really enjoyed. So let's get into the ones that I didn't like and I thought were the really low lights of this year. First and foremost, we have Jungkook with Golden. I think Jungkook has completely fumbled the ball in terms of quality, in terms of actual good music. In terms of numbers, he has killed it, obviously. Who's surprised? Everybody knew Jungkook could have been that type of pop star, but Big Hit never really tried for the longest, and then once they really got super popular, they obviously let it go. But the album is completely incoherent, a lot of problems in terms of style, aesthetics, production, I think consistency. And Jungkook's highlights are the ones that people don't care about, the lower songs, the smoother, sexier songs. I think it's what really Jungkook does well. Then when we try to make him into more of a classic pop star, that's why I think he actually struggles a lot. They've pushed him to the moon, he's gonna be super successful. In terms of quality, nothing really for the most part. Next with Isle with Medlar Mixtape. I think this album has every sort of problem: production, vocally, aesthetically, choruses. Nothing really hits hard, nothing is really memorable. It's a pretty forgettable album, really. And Isle is a decent artist, but I think he completely fucked it up with this one. And next with BI with Love or Loved Part 2. The reason why I put this album, because I think it's somewhat of a fail. I don't think it's the worst album in terms of it's not like a 3, it's more like a 5, 4.5. I find that BI really kind of didn't do as good as he did with the other album this year that he dropped, where the album was coherent, was longer, was focused. This one is just a mashup of a bunch of songs that I just think they seem like throwaways from stuff he did this year, and he just released an album with it, which it's not really a great feeling, do you? Considering I think he's a pretty talented guy, so I hold him to a higher standard than most people. Next with Diak with D Major, probably the worst hip-hop album I've heard in K-pop, in Korean hip-hop this year, by far. Bad productions, bad vocals, really terrible usage of the auto-tune. But he's popular with a lot of the successful artists, so he's definitely gonna get more popular with time, but I don't like him at all, at least from this project. We have NTX with Odd Hour. I respect the effort. I think the album has potential, but then I have to be honest and say, why is it like 40 minutes something? It's like for a younger group, for a starting group, it's not good. They don't have enough to say. They don't have a clear concept going for them. So half of the songs you could have just eliminated, and you still would have gotten a good album. So that's what it is. But I respect at least the effort of trying to do something like this. As a new group, I think that's pretty fucking. Next is the Boyz with Phantasy Part 2, 60 Cents. Again, I think another big miss for them. They've had a good year, but this album really ends there on a negative note. Why are you dropping an album like this? I have no idea. Just doesn't work at all. Not one song is good on it, and that's it to it. I think it's probably my biggest disappointment, because I've really grown to like the Boyz this year. But next we have Big Naughty with ICM Better Than YVR. As I've said, he tried to do something a little bit different, more mainstream, and he failed. It's just not his style. Big Naughty is consistently trying to chase a certain type of fame that he's never gonna reach, and it is just not really his style. And his music doesn't have that reach in Korea, so I don't get it. Like, do your stuff. You're doing it really good last year. You had your own community. You created a new fan base. A lot of people got into your music through the album. I'm not saying do only that, but if you're gonna do some average pop punk or trap shit or mainstream K-pop shit, I have to call you on it and tell you how bad it is. Next we have Woohyun with Whitree. This particularly hurts me for me. I'm a huge Infinite fan, but I find this album to really not work in any way. I think the worst part is the productions. If the productions were good, I probably would have been fine with it, but the productions are so bad, and some of the choices that his producers or himself made for this project are just questionable at best for me. Like, I have no idea why he chose certain songs to be on the album, certain melodies, certain vocal lines. I have no idea. It's overall a very, very weird situation. It's again, I said the Boyz might have been my biggest disappointment. This is also tied with it, I think. I think one is a very talented guy, but what is this album? I have no idea. So, and this was the list for the worst albums of the month. As I've said, not very long, but some pretty big, I think, duds this month, where maybe in previous months there were longer lists, but the albums were overall like bad, but not like terrible. On this list you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of like 8 or 9 albums are really bad. So again, I thought there was a lot of quality, but there's been some really big shits this month as well. Again, as I said, thank you for watching, guys. Leave the comment, share, and subscribe, and see you next time with a new video. Goodbye.